So this video is to all of my free thinkers and revolutionaries out there who have experienced the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is an experience that many will attempt to explain with words, but words are so minute in comparison to the actual experience. But to give you a preface, the internal meaning of having an experience, the dark night of the soul, is the world that you thought, life as you knew it, comes crumbling down and crashing down in front of your face, and it's like a domino effect. So every single epiphany, dream, encounter that you thought was pure, that you thought was sacred and so gentle, and you realized that it was all by design. A lot of this shit was already pre-made, predestined, and scripted. So you break away from the chains of that dream utopian society, that dream-like utopian world. Because having a dark night of the soul is the most painful and one could say depressing. One could say depressing, demotivating, decapitating period of life. In this duration of life, you're thinking so much you don't know what to think. You have no idea what to think because it's a crisis happening in front of you. I'm not going to go in detail, but we will go in detail on the Patreon. And yes, we will make it for the cheapest tier, okay? But I need you guys to go over to the Patreon, and where we're really going to go more in detail and dissect the certain scenarios like church, sports, family, trauma, generational trauma, diseases, foods, chemicals. We're going to go into all those different things on Patreon. So get over there. But I wouldn't even say it would be synonymous to like a midlife crisis that a woman has in her, late 30s, early 40s. Nah. You can't live the same after you had the dark night of the soul. You can't. All disasters, trauma, deaths, disease, and it causes you to isolate. It causes you to alienate because life as you knew it, like I said, has been a lie. How do you spell believe? BeLIEvE. So is it safe to say that when we believe something and when we get hyped and motivated to put our belief into one thing, in the middle of the word believe is lie? And what do they say? Go into bed and lie down. That's a submissive state. That's a dream, sedative-like state, right? So be lie in the middle of the word believe. But in the word know, KNOW, in the middle of that is no. No. No and no. They're same phonetically, but two different. And what do they say? When somebody is cocky, when somebody is overly confident, conceited, all these C words, they say that he's too full of himself. He knows too much of himself. Like that's a bad thing. Like that's a negative connotation. So the dark night of the soul is one of the most crumbling experiences ever. And me personally, I have been through, of course, one. Wow. And then I cried profusely the night of my dark night of the soul. It was my graduation night. I cried profusely. And I was just stuck. Like all of this shit. And those y'all who experienced it, you know it crept up on you, right? Like my senior year, it happened. Officially, it happened. But my sophomore year, there was a lot of signs and omens that junior year, a lot of signs and omens. Senior year, there wasn't that many, but it was a buildup. It was like, if y'all ever seen the movie Soul, you know, the souls are walking up the steps, heaven, quote unquote. They're walking up the steps to the bright light. That's what it was. Because when you go into the bright light, it's like a portal. And then you just fall. How did I get here? Where am I going? What? So it's a deep sense of aimlessness and meaninglessness. Does that make sense? So it's like, you know, it's almost as if it feels like you're taking baby steps, like you took baby steps to get to the dark night of the soul, but it was big leaps. Like you're taking, you know, man. And it could come in different forms, you know, a lot of different forms. It doesn't have to be, you know, hit you abruptly. Most of the time it does. It hits you abruptly, like after, you know, a loved one's death, you know, an out-of-body experience, a dream that really, you know, capitalizes your memory, and it just transforms and yeah, it's fixated in your brain. Like you cannot unsee. Once you experience Dark Night of the Soul, you cannot unsee what you just seen. I can't go back to eating chicken after I seen what they do and how they induce chicken. I can't eat fast food anymore. I can't. I don't. McTrash, aka McDonald's, used to be my thing. When I was in grade school, middle school, my Meemaw used to pick me up from aftercare, and a couple blocks down, my pawpaw, my Meemaw and I, we'd go to the we'd go to the McTrash, we'd go to the McDonald's, and what would I get? 10-piece chicken nugget, barbecue sauce, and give me a Sprite. I don't even drink soft drinks anymore. I haven't drank a soft drink in decades. I just can't unsee it. I can't. I used to be an extreme all or nothing person. I've dialed back a little bit, but I'm still all or nothing. I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't unexperience unless I'm sedated or I get hypnotized, but you know, even that shit, I can't unsee that. So we're going to do a deeper breakdown on Patreon. Everybody get over there. Link is the first link in the description. Everybody go there, show some love, okay? Dark Night of the Soul, man. Anybody who's going through it right now, hey, I'm sending you spiritual, esoteric hugs and love and high vibrations, okay? Because when information becomes very toxic, you gotta step away. But in this moment, you don't want to step away because you want to learn and ask and study and read and find any lie that you can. So yeah, I love y'all. Stay focused. Just be simple. Take care of yourself. And it's JB. And I'll see y'all over on Patreon.